Howdy, howdy, all y'all, my brothers and sisters by humanity, nationality, and I hope through Christ. We're going to continue in Romans chapter 3. Today I forgot my Bible at church, so this is the ESV version. And hopefully the doggos to my right don't create too much noise, with the cars to the left don't create too much noise. Starting in verse 1 of chapter 3. Then what advantage has the Jew? If you recall, in chapter 2, it's talking about the legalism and the hypocrisy of the Jews knowing the law but not following the law, but condemning others for them not following the others not following the law when they also were not following it. So in verse 1, then what advantage has the Jew, or what is the value of circumcision? Much in every way. To begin with, the Jews were entrusted with the oracles of God. What if some were unfaithful? Does their faithlessness nullify the faithfulness of God? By no means. Let God be true, though everyone were a liar, as it is written, that you may be justified in your words and prevail when you are judged. If you recall, in the Old Testament, the Jewish people constantly broke God's law, but God was always faithful and kept a remnant always to uphold God's side of the bargain, even though the Jewish people broke the covenant and God was not obligated to do so. Verse 5, but if our unrighteousness serves to show the righteousness of God, what shall we say? That God is unrighteous to inflict wrath on us? I speak in a human way. By no means, for then how could God judge the world? But what if through my lie God's truth abounds to his glory? Why am I still being condemned as a sinner? And why not do evil that good may come? As some people slanderously charge, as with saying, their condemnation is just. You understand that? That, well, if God can turn an evil act into good, then why can't I just do evil so that way God can do more good, right? No, we are commanded to do good and do righteousness. And just because God is sovereign enough to turn an unrighteous deed into righteousness does not mean that it gives us license to do evil. It means all the more condemnation against us for God's righteousness out of our unrighteousness, taking our unrighteousness into righteousness by God's grace and sovereign power. Just shows how glorious and holy he is and how wicked and evil we are. So there's another section after this, but that'll help get us into the flow, and then we're going to continue in verse 9 in just a second.